Hey, welcome back here to the Central PA Pour, and this is our St. Patrick's Day episode. Guess what? That means springtime's coming. And if you can take a note, I'm flying solo today. No Dave, he's out sick. Kevin's off traveling, but we do have another guest sitting in here, and we've met him previously at several places, and he's got a great story and somebody I think is going to be of an interest that you're going to want to get to know. But don't forget to look us up wherever you get your podcast or social media at Central PA Pour. Give us a like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and keep us going with all this good content. We're having a good time doing this. And let us know in the comments what you're doing for your St. Patrick's Day. Are you going out? You're going to go drinking? You're going to go bar crawling? You're going to go downtown in York to the St. Patrick's Day parade or any parade? So let us know in the comments. So let's bring in our guest here. Welcome to the Central PA Pour.
Oh, thank you for having me.
How are you doing, man? It's Davey,
Good.
right?
Excited to be here finally.
David O Leary.
Oh yeah, you got a good Irish one for this episode.
Yeah,
didn't
so
you?
this
You might have
was
done that purposely.
this was perfect timing. You know, when you and I had talked about coming in to do the show, postponed a couple times due to illnesses and other whatnots, but we're glad to have you sitting here with us. And I kept telling you it's going to be our St. Patrick's Day episode, and wow,
Yeah.
we have an Irishman in studio for our St. Patrick's Day.
And that's what you got, an Irish stout in front of you there too.
I do.
Glass.
I have a Sally O'Malley Dry Irish Stout. It is from Gearhouse in a collaboration with Levity. So
Very good.
Gearhouse is out of Chambersburg, but they're also down at Archetype there in downtown. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
a
I was
good
actually
Irish
there last
stout.
night with them.
And you're drinking, grabbed out of my fridge, a King Cudley.
King Cuddly Blueberry Lemon Softsicle. So it's blueberries, lemons, vanilla soft serve ice cream, and lactose. So
Yep. And that is from Collusion. So cheers.
cheers, sir. It's very tasty.
So being Irish, what do you do for St. Patrick's Day?
Drink.
Drink.
Isn't that the whole point of it? Well, I mean, most of the time now here I'm working the day. So before that, we were in college, so we just hanging out, go downtown and stuff myself as well. But god damn, it gets hectic in downtown York. People love it.
So you tell us a little bit about what your company is.
So we are a private hire bartending company. We are the Greatest Barman LLC. So we provide bartending services for private events, birthday parties, weddings, graduations. We've done like a dinner party of 5 people. We've done celebrations of life. So at the moment, it's just DJing. Got caught with the sticker behind you. It's a bartending service. And so, like I said, do all those things. And then we're trying to, hopefully later down the years, we're going to build it into an entirely event planning company.
Event planning.
Yeah. So at the moment now, every time I go do any events I go do, if I like the DJs, if I like the caterers, I'll actually go up and talk to them, get their information, tell them what I kind of want to do and build towards. So at the moment I have a catalogue of about 200 plus vendors that eventually, like I said, I'm going to putting it all together, send out a mass email like, hey, this is what I want to do and this is how we can all help each other and help each other grow and get better. So eventually someone will just have to contact our company, and we'll be able to get everything they need. Venues, DJs, caterers, knives, forks.
There we go, man. So great. How did this idea come about?
So it's actually me and myself and Brittany Armpriester. She came to me. She was in the bartending business, the restaurant industry for about 10 odd years before she came to me with this idea. And it was just before COVID, I guess? Because we started in 2020. We launched in 2020. But she came to me. She was working in a doctor's office at the time. Wasn't really enjoying it too much and was enjoying like I said, I was in the industry for a while and she enjoyed that side of it. And then start looking at, because I was studying business, I was always interested in owning my own business anyway. And I think she started to kind of look into it. Just from hearing me talk and what I wanted to kind of do with stuff. And she came to one day and she just said, hey, what if we did like a mobile bartending company is what we first kind of classified ourselves as. So I said, I mean, I know nothing about it. At this stage, I had never been in the restaurant industry at all, besides like a small stint in TGI Fridays as a server. So I knew nothing about that aspect of it, but she did. And what we did was we basically tried to set up, we went online and tried to create our own private event. So we tried to find a bartender for it to see just how lucrative a possibility it is. And it was difficult. Especially in New York. I don't think there was any in New York, and there was some out of Philadelphia, some out of Lancaster, Baltimore. But again, not York. And I think York is like perfectly placed for us to be located and just to spread out as much as we can with the way the roads and everything are set up. So she came to me with the idea. We looked into it. It just made sense. The market was there. And so we really started to focus on it in 2020. I was a business major. So I actually had, in my final semester, I had an internship with a fashion company. And the fashion company worked on a global scale. So I was tasked with putting together a list. So I was given 10 countries. I had to get the top 10, like designers and then venues and like another thing. And halfway through that, COVID, boom. Actually, it was literally the weekend of St. Patrick's Day.
Wow. Yeah, it was.
So
March.
I lost that internship, but I needed it for graduation. So I went in, we'd like a half-assed business plan at this point that we were just kind of doing together. And I brought it into my business professor, and I asked, "Hey, look, because of COVID, like I can't do this. He's after pulling it. Can I use this as my internship?" And he said, "Yeah, there's no problem." So then we really focused on that, and then he ended up helping us too because Ali Cara out in Penn State, York, great professor, really helped us too. And again, because I was using it for my internship, I could bring it into him, and he'd be like, "Oh, well, you can do this." So that was really good for us to get kind of kickstart us, as well as the backlog of events, because we started in 2020. Our first year then operational really was 21, which everyone was trying to catch up then. So we actually did it was her 16th birthday, but they were actually celebrating her quinceañera because they didn't get to do it the year before. And it just kind of really opened their eyes to, damn, like this is why there's so much right now, because there was a huge backlog. There was one we did, it was their third attempt at trying to get married. And eventually they were able to do it because they got to the point where I think they'd booked their venue, and then their venue got back to them and was like, "Hey, you can only have this amount of people."
Oh, yeah, I remember those days, yeah.
People were just getting thrown back around because of deposits and all that. So it took them three attempts to get married. So eventually got there now.
Well, at least it was a pandemic issue and not personal attempts.
Well, I think that's why everybody's so understandable, because everybody was on the same page.
Yeah, I felt bad for everybody in the hospitality industry.
Oh, my God, yeah.
People that had wedding plans, because that's stuff you plan out a year in advance. Yeah. So
we even in 23 we got some bookings for 25. So some people are really out there with it.
Yep. So what brought you to the U.S. from Ireland? I'm assuming that's where you were born, right?
Yeah, born and raised Dublin, Ireland, basically. Came over for college and basketball. Plan was basically the end, once college was done, I was going to go back to Europe and pursue basketball over there. And again, like I said, graduated in 2020. So there was no traveling, there was no doing nothing like that. So went to plan B, which was start a business.
Wow. You have any plans of going back?
Yeah, me and Brittany both do. We want to go back eventually. Just all depends on the development of this business. If I can get this business to the point of having somebody else be able to run it here at the very least. Because if we go over there, it's definitely something that could be introduced into Ireland also. I don't think there is a lot of private hire sectors in it. And because a lot of places do have their own bartenders, but it seems now lately in the last 2 to 3 years, a big thing in Ireland is starting to get married outside of churches. So they're now getting married in venues that don't have like liquor liability insurance or bartenders that are actually designated to it. So I think there is an emerging market for what we actually offer at the moment there too.
So speaking of that, being a bartender, traveling, you don't have a physical location.
No.
Do you have to carry a liquor license here?
No, because we don't sell alcohol.
Okay.
So the alcohol is provided by the host, and we just serve it out.
Okay.
So there's no cash involved, no like that.
So you're just the subcontractor coming into a venue or whatever, and they got the liquor license so you can distribute what they have.
So they wouldn't need a liquor license because nobody is selling alcohol.
Okay.
They just need a ramp-certified bartender to serve it. And then we do carry liquor liability insurance.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, this is a whole different... This is different. Until I met you, I never even heard of such a thing.
Yeah, well, again, Brittany was the one that brought it to me, so, I mean, it's new to me as well.
So where did the Greatest Barman come up with?
She came up with it. It's a play on The Greatest Showman, which had come out just a little bit previously to when we had started thinking about this. Hugh Jackman. And we both loved the movie. And it's actually what's inspired kind of the logo You can see the logo's like a little martini glass.
I got it up top here.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I got it.
So you can
on
see
there.
that. So that's what kind of inspired. You can see they have a little bow tie even is untied at the bottom of the martini glass, and it was kind of just a part of that because we wanted to, even the style in which they dress, and there's a specific bar scene in there too, where they do a song back and forth. Is it Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, do you guys do that? Do you do that routine?
That's what we're getting to. That's where it's going to be. What's the Coyote Uglies? Isn't that the one where they get up on the bar? It's going to be something similar to that.
That's cool, man. I'm waiting for you to do it down at the Gift Horse bar.
The lights are too low. I'll crack my head off them. That's the issue there. The outside bar. This summer, the outside bar. I got it.
How's he making out with that?
Good. We took out the tents a week or two ago. Well, just before the snow because of the snow.
Right. Yeah.
Because last year we didn't, and last year just snowed out of the blue, and it like collapsed our tent. So we closed down the outside for the moment until the weather starts to get better. But we're rocking and rolling on the inside. We get like some duos and trios inside playing music on some Fridays and Saturdays at the moment. So it's going good.
Yeah. So this venture, you had mentioned you want to become a business like a hospitality venue. Are you looking for a physical location?
We will be. Yeah, we're actually currently looking for a possible venue. So we actually want to own a wedding venue ourselves, where we rent out to. Just an event venue really to rent out, and then like I said, then we'll be able to supply everything that will be needed. Also, hopefully, as we build and grow. And
how many bartenders you have working for you?
Like 15 to 20. We have some
15 to 20.
Yeah, because the most we've had events in a day is 3. So that was actually 3 bartenders, 1 3 bartender event and 2 bartenders. So that there was 7 bartenders needed. But again, it comes down to availability. But we also actually supplied the Appel Center in downtown York with bartenders last year. So they needed sometimes 2 to 9, depending on how large their show was and their audience.
I never even thought this would be anything like this. Holy cow! You have hit the niche. In this area.
There's definitely something there to be, and I kind of want to also see if I can build it to the point where rather than I want to start in New York, and rather there be each bartender is hired by the bar to be hired by us, and then everyone is we 1099 everyone. It's almost like a bartender supplying company then for just downtown New York.
Yeah, like a staffing company.
Yeah.
Right now, are these bartenders subcontracted or are they on a payroll?
1099.
1099.
Yeah.
So they are subcontractors.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, this is pretty cool. What got you into the bartending scene, and how did you learn your craft?
Brittany was the one. Like I said, I was not involved in it until she came up with this, and then once my first time ever bartending was I think it was a birthday party. So my first time bartending was one of our events. And then that's then kind of how I got involved with Gift Horse, is as Gift Horse was reopening, Russell Stoner was involved at the time. He reached out because I knew him just through, God, how did I get to know Stoner? Actually, I got to know him and he reached out knowing what we were doing. They needed bartenders in there. He knew what we were doing, hit us up, and then me and her actually ended up working there for a while, contracting then through Gift Horse before she then went. She had an opportunity to manage the Cantina in downtown York and Avianos. So she went then, did that. I stuck around at Gift Horse. And she's actually now moved on to the bar manager spot at Mesa Moreira, new Portuguese cuisine that's opened up in downtown.
I was trying to think of that name. Last night we were talking. I was like, what's the new restaurant? I couldn't even remember what style it was. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Portuguese cuisine.
I knew where it was at. It was the old Forge place.
Yeah, right across there from Holy Hand.
I have to get in there. I haven't gotten into that. So if you've never bartended until Brittany came along, how did you learn your craft?
I'd spent enough time on the other side of the bar to watch it. Picked it up enough. A lot of my mates back home are also bartenders as well. So,
Trial by fire?
Trial by fire. It's not, I mean, wedding bartending is not that difficult because it's very limited. Because like some events we do are just beer wine. Some of them are like beer and then like 2 signature drinks. Some are a full bar, but some of the first ones we did weren't too crazy. So I actually I wasn't thrown into the deep end of it. Like I was able to walk into the shallow and kind of dip my toe in, like, all right, this is how it goes. But she's an incredible bartender, so it was easy to kind of learn behind her. She's someone that she can literally just think of a drink, think of ingredients, give you the measurements off the top of her head, and it tastes incredible. I don't know how the hell she does it.
Wow.
I need to make a drink 4 to 5 times and taste it each time to figure it out. So learning from behind her, it's
so she's a true mixologist.
Oh yeah, she's the mixologist. I'm the loud one, the face, and the outgoing one. She's the actual brains behind the whole operation.
And you're the taste tester.
yeah, taste tester and the talker.
So the other thing that you had mentioned to me is you have something you started with simple syrups.
Yeah.
And these are syrups you use in certain cocktails.
Yeah, so not just that, we use them. So how we started doing that was actually we would go to Grey Apple Market and we'd set up our mobile bar to show it off, to show, hey, look, you can rent out this bar, you can rent out us. So because we don't have a liquor license, we can't sell alcohol. But we're a bartending service, so we probably should. So what we did was we'd make 2 signature drinks and just give out free samples. So you put out a sign that says free cocktail, and people kind of scan. It's hilarious because most people come over, like 80% of people come over and go, is it really free? I'm like, well, you got to spend a bit of time with me and listen to me talk shite. But other than that, it is. So while I make the drinks and pour the drinks, then it gives me a chance to actually give them the spiel about what we do and what our event is or what our company is. And so that was great. And then we kind of, I think it was on our second or third one, I don't remember how the conversation came up, but I was like, what if we made like our own simple syrups just to make these cocktails with? Because then we can actually showcase the simple syrups, what you can do with them. And I think that was a huge sell. So we ended up started selling them direct to customers at such markets. And it was very evident that when people would like taste a cocktail, they'd ask us what was in it, and we tell them that the simple syrups, and there's a very high percentage of people who bought after tasting the cocktails. So it's something we kind of do a lot now, but we can only sell direct to customer ourselves at the moment. We're working on getting them wholesale. And then that way we will, we'll hopefully get them into like restaurants, bars, and anything else. And then we will create our own menu with them. So like, hey, if you buy our simple syrups, these are cocktails that you can make with them. Everything else you should already have. So just make it really streamlined and really easy for any bartenders or bars to use our products.
I was going to ask, the signature cocktails. What are your signature cocktails or Brittany's?
So we don't have any signature cocktails ourselves. A signature cocktail really is it's by event. So even somebody's signature cocktail is like a rum and coke for their event, because a lot of times it'll be like a his and hers.
Okay, so it's not like a specialty drink that you've come up. When you're saying signature, it's whatever the main...
Yeah, for that event.
For that event, okay. What's some of your favorite cocktails?
Oh, God. No, I don't know. I always have Brittany just make them for me.
The ones in a glass that you can drink, right?
Yeah.
That's your favorite.
That's what I'm saying. She's the one that have all those answers. I know what I like when I taste it. We have a blackberry lemon. We made a blackberry lemon syrup, and she made a vodka drink with that, and it was gorgeous.
Oh, that'd be right up my wife. She likes like blackberry, raspberry lemonades.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, we can do a whole. We also do cocktail classes, and so like that we'll pick like 3 or 4 cocktails where they'll be themed. So one of them was like favorite, like celebrity favorite drinks or something like that. And then we'll teach the history of drink and all that. So it's actually a bit of fun. It's kind of cool. So I'd love to go back there and we do that.
Oh, so you where do you do those classes at?
That all depends. So because we're for hire, we did. It actually just closed now at Hydrangea House. It was. It's actually just down the street.
I think it's right down. It was down at the road at the creek.
Yeah,
the old stone mill there.
Yeah, like they were just a little like home decor shop. But on their opening, they hit us up to serve free to give out cocktails at their thing, and then we did 2 cocktail classes in their store. So it's like a sipping shop. So you come in, make cocktails, you do 2 groups. So you make the first drink with the group, they can drink it and shop. Then you make it with the second group, and it switches in and out. Then and that's actually how the owners of Hydrangea House are actually the owners of Mesa Morera. And that's so they actually reached out to Brittany when they were opening Mesa Morera. They reached out to Brittany to see if she would like to work there then for them.
That is a cool idea. So this has been keeping you quite busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially right now, like, coming out of the pandemic, you had mentioned 21 and everybody's trying to catch up, but there was still some COVID setbacks, I think, in 21, but 22 and 23 it ramped up.
Yeah, definitely. And then we're in our slow season at the moment, but I mean, during probably 6 months of the year, we're two events a week at the moment, so it's going good.
Okay. And what's the farthest you'll travel?
What have we? I think we've done 100 miles. But we do the first 30 miles free, both directions, and then we charge 60 cents a mile after that. and that goes to whoever's driving there. That goes all to them, whether it be us or if it's one of our other bartenders.
And if somebody is interested in hiring you, you have a website, thegreatestbarman.com.
Yeah.
They can get access to you and bookings or information. How does that work?
Yep, on there there's like a form you can fill out. There's also our contact information, so we'll take an email, we'll take phone calls, but like I said, there's also that online form that once you fill it out, we get emailed and it has the information in that we'll need, and then we'll send back a quote and for that. And then we're on 2 different applications, I guess. And one's Thumbtack, and it's just one of those that's used for hiring professionals. And then the other one is, I think, Wedding Specific, which is the Knot.
Okay.
So we're on both of them, and both of them get us a good amount of business too.
We'll have to put those links in. So what, just out of curiosity, if somebody wants to book you for, let's just say, a corporate event, like a corporate Christmas party, 50 people, what does an average that look like?
So we with 50 people up to 100 people is only one bartender, and then our bartenders' rates are $50 an hour. So for 50 people, it would be one bartender, $50 an hour.
Okay.
After that, then would you require a bar, or would the venue already have one? Because then we have 2 options for portable bars. One is a big wooden framed one, looks real nice, like a vintage style look, and that would run about $250 just for the whole event. And then we have a 2-tier table bar. I think actually is in that picture I sent you earlier that we're standing behind.
Yeah.
So that's a real nice one too, and that's $150 down for the whole event.
So speaking of bars, we need a pedal bar downtown York.
A pedal bar. That's funny. Brittany mentioned that like a year ago too. That would be interesting.
You could do that and just roam around downtown York, serve the drinks, stop at the craft beer houses like Liquid Here, Gift Tours, Collusion,
make a whole thing
Mud Hook, and make a whole thing of it.
I'm always curious as to what the legality of those, how those things work, because it's on the move. Like, it just baffles me.
You have to have pretty much a permission to be on the roadways. Downtown York can be a little busy.
Yeah, and then the one way streets too can be a bit of a pain.
Well, the other option, you could get one of the floating bars and go into Cador's. Just don't put anything in the water.
A bit of bounce, all right. Let's stick with the pedal. The pedal one seems like it'd be a little easier to get done.
That would be. You know what? That would go over well.
You think?
I think that would go over well, especially during the summer months.
Oh, definitely the summer months.
Tell Jason and Mick that you got a new business idea. You need some sponsorship money behind it.
All right, I can do.
Because I've seen them in other areas.
Bigger cities I've seen them in.
Ocean City has the floating bars. They're quite salty to rent out for a couple hours. But it's just a gathering of it's fun.
Yeah, maybe that'll be our next one. So the Greatest Barman, currently have a, oh my God, it's like a little tree wheeler with a flatbed in the back that we're going to turn that into a tap truck. So we'll have 3 taps on that then.
Oh, geez, there you go.
So then once we do that, what we'll actually be able to do is with the gift horse, is collaborate with the gift horse and use their expedition license and actually sell their beer then at markets and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. So bring that up. You were talking a little bit about you've done some collaborations. Mm-hmm. What is some of the collaborations that you have done? Which maybe some future ideas that you can want to collab on and stuff like that?
So one of the first thing that we did was we collaborated with Gift Horse to make a beer. So Jason and Brittany sat down and figured out the recipe and ingredients. So we made a strawberry basil pale ale,
which we're going to
we have right here.
We're going to get into that and we're going to cheers out with that, and we'll have a little bit more detail about it.
Yeah, I told you I'm looking forward to tasting it because it was the first time Jason had made something with basil. So he did a little research to figure out which way he wanted to go with it, with the fresh basil or tinctures. And so once he kegged it, what we noticed as it sat in the keg, the basil actually got stronger and stronger as it sat there. So I'm very interested to see how it keeps in the cans now once we open this layer.
Yeah, basil and clove is another one that can get pretty
really
strong. So, I mean, have you collabed with any, like, for liquors or your simple syrups, any of that kind of stuff going to happen?
Yeah, that's kind of what so again, we do want to have, I actually think we have an event coming up in May that we want to do another collaboration with Jason with, so we want to get a second volume, so we named it like volume 1, so we're going to have a whole series of volumes with them.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And then hopefully we can do something with Holla. I know the rep Drew is great. But yeah, like once we get our simple syrups that we can do wholesale stuff with them, it's something we'd love to look into then as well. Is pairing up, especially Holland has a huge range of flavors, so it'd be great to pair up like a peculiar simple syrup.
Yeah,
some of their stuff.
Been there plenty of times, and you're out there, and I mean, the Hollow Spirits are all lined up. You want a flavor, it's there.
Yeah, most Pawpaw. Never even heard of Pawpaw before. The hell was that?
So, what's your favorite style of beer?
Stout.
I gotta say, you're Irish. You
It's
better
straight up.
say
It's
stout.
as goddamn stereotypical as you can get. I drink me Guinness, and then once I finish me Guinness, I move on to Paddy's Irish whiskey. That's my ideal drinking. The issue is trying to find a good fucking Guinness over here. You have it. It's just not it.
So, or how close from Ireland were you to Dublin?
Outside, like, if you drove in like 20 minutes into the city.
So you're close.
20, 30.
You're
Yeah,
close.
I mean, everyone's close in Ireland. You can no joke. You can be in the goddamn East Coast Sea and in 4 or 5 hours be in the West Coast Sea. It's like 12, 15 hours top to bottom or something. It's not that big.
Yeah. So someday I want to get to Ireland. Definitely want to hit Scotland too. That's kind of my heritage as well. So
Very good. Go and see what is it, St. Andrew's Gate? The fuck's his name?
yeah, I think it's. I didn't say it because now it is St. Andrew's Gate where Guinness is. So yeah. That's kind of what started me with the stouts was getting a Guinness and getting it poured correctly.
Yeah, that's another thing over here too. Break a man's heart watching it do what they do.
Yeah. And actually, the lady that poured it put a little heart on the top when she was done.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, oh, she wants me.
There you go. Yeah, I've seen people do like the shamrocks. They do the shamrock after.
It takes a special pour.
Yeah, I've never done that now myself. I've never poured Guinness at an actual bar. Because like at the brewery, we can only sell Pennsylvania-made alcohol. So I've never had to do it for somebody else.
Well, tell Jason with some of his stouts, he's going to have to put a nitrous tap in there for it. You get that nice pour and creamy pour out of it.
Oh yeah.
What's some of your favorite mixed drinks? What do you like besides the Irish whiskey? Or is there something you can do with Irish whiskey?
If I do it, when I mix it, it's just ginger ale and a lime wedge. Squeeze it in, little wipe on the rim. Sugars is what really gets me when it comes to the cocktails. I can't do too much of it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So since we're going to bring you back and have you sample and show us what goes into making a cocktail. And hopefully the mixologist will be with you.
Yeah, well, we'll make sure. Yeah, she's like I said, she hasn't been feeling too well the last week. So,
but what would go into making a drink? What do you want to look for?
Oh, that all. It can also really depend upon the liquor, because a lot of like old fashions you'd use bitters in, and it's mostly I feel like bitters is mostly I see used in whiskeys, and then when you move down like kind of gin and tequila, you'll find are very botanical liquors themselves, and so when people create drinks with them, they kind of stay along the floral palette. Rums,
just right out of the bottle.
Yeah, rum. There's not a lot that's done with
other
rum.
than Captain and Coke.
Yeah, I was about to say there's not like it's just that in a whiskey or that in a soda. That's not what. Yeah.
So there is a science to it. You were just saying like the tequilas and the gins, you want to stay with the floral side of stuff. And
most of it.
Yeah. So there is kind of a scientist behind it.
Yeah. Well, I think some of the best cocktails too are what kind of step away from that though. So most commonly, like I said, you'll have like your floral palette, but when a mixologist is able to actually step away from that and create something on the opposite end of the spectrum that's good, it's really good. It's just trying to figure out the right stuff.
I think I remember. I'm not going to throw my wife under the bus, but she got a drink one time. They called it a Swedish fish.
Okay.
Still have yet to figure out what was all in it, but it tasted like a damn gummy Swedish fish.
Yeah, some of them are insane. I had one 2 weeks ago. It tasted like a blueberry muffin. Right? It tasted like I was eating a blueberry muffin. The only thing I know that went in it was rum chata and like 3 other things, but it was incredible. It makes no sense.
So if you're going to recommend hiring you, what would you recommend to the host? Hey, we want some premium cocktails, or it is whatever they're looking to have on their menu.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, because we always ask them about the signature drinks as one of the things, because then we'll, if it's a large wedding, like 150, 200 plus people, and if they're doing like 2 signature drinks, what we'll ask and suggest is to allow us to bring our canisters so we can actually pre-make them before, like while the ceremony's going on over on the other side, we'll actually pre-make them and have them in, and that way then it's just a quick pour. When you have 150, 200 people, that's like 2 bartenders. You don't want to have a huge line, especially when, as soon as the ceremony's over, everybody needs a drink.
Yeah,
so that first hour, that cocktail hour is hectic. It's like that's nonstop.
Nothing like standing in line for 20 minutes to get a drink.
Yeah, and that's why even we learned then too, again, 150, 200 people will actually, a lot of people, the majority of people at weddings will try the signature drink. So we'll actually pre-pour a lot of them. So it's just as people come up, hey, would you like a signature drink or something else? And it's like, oh, signature drink. And then it's quick and easy. Get them out there and just keep that line moving. Make sure people aren't waiting around.
That's cool. I know when my wife and I went to Mexico, Riviera de Maya, for a Napa event, it was at an all-inclusive.
Nice.
And the bartender at the pool bar, the adult pool bar, he made something called a papacito. We were all drinking it so much. By the second day, he was making 5 gallons at a time.
Damn.
We went through it, and then we were shooting. I can't remember. Oh crap, Don Julio.
Oh, that's
so we drank the papacito. Well, I don't know what was in it. Tasted good, and I was drunk. And then we were shooting Don Julio, and I was drinking beer. I felt fine in the pool. Until I got out of the pool and started walking back.
Your legs had to do some work.
Oh, yeah. I ain't showing the video, but I fell.
That's hilarious.
And cracked my elbow.
Damn.
But, yeah, I guess as a bartender, your idea is to get the people there, get them in, get their drinks, and keep them happy.
Yeah, well, that's one of the best things, too, about wedding bartending is everybody's there together. So everybody's based on the same page. So everyone's happy. Everyone wants to be there. No one's there to drink their sorrows away and going to be an ass. Like, you don't really have to look out for too many people being dumbasses like you do when you're dealing with the public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I DJ'd for 15 years,
so
I know all about that.
Well, yeah.
And the problem is some DJs thought they were just a jukebox, and technically you are
the MC.
You are the coordinator of the wedding reception.
Yeah. If there's not a specific person, like you are.
You're the one that controls it. You're the one that makes sure people here are happy, along with the bartender and the people providing the food.
And they know what everything, and make sure everyone knows what's going on and what to be doing.
Yep. So I know all about that. And I've seen that's one of the most satisfying things that you mentioned is keeping the people happy.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Make sure everyone has a good time.
So going forward, as far as maybe getting an event venue, what else is in the future?
I mean, at the moment, that's the main thing, really, is to get the venue and grow the venue. Like you said, grow that catalog and get it to an entire event planning, and then hopefully be able to, me and her, if we can train people to get up. Like I said, we already have 10, 15 involved, and we definitely know a few who would like to be involved further down the line and in more.
So you're going to bring somebody in from internal that you already have.
Oh, yeah,
that's
of course.
Great.
Oh, yeah, I'm not trying to, yeah. I'm very much like that. I will always reach out to the people I know and who've been around before I'll go look for someone, just like on Indeed or something like that. It's not how I operate. I couldn't trust somebody like that.
Yeah, you got to build your team and find that, and you don't always find it putting a classified ad out.
No, that's never been a thought of mine to try to do that.
You could try the Plenty of Fish app. Oh, that's a different story.
So they say Plenty of Fish. I've never heard of that one. That sounds like some dating thing, though.
Yeah, it's another or OnlyFans. How's that? Well, trying OnlyFans. Yeah,
get that one up.
Oh, that's not the style of business. I mean, they'll keep people happy.
Yeah, I'll serve topless.
Right. All right. So going forward, you had mentioned about the simple syrups, but you also have some ideas that you want to have your own line.
Yeah. So we want to, like I was saying, that once we get the simple syrups, we'll like create a menu and 4 bars. But not only that, we want to go all the way down with like our own dehydrated fruit packets, our own rim salters, and then like infusion jars. And have you ever heard of an infusion jar?
I think I have, but enlighten me.
So what we do is we dehydrate fruit, and we dehydrate, like, so we'll take sugar, if you mix lemon juice, a little lime juice into the sugar, and then allow that, dehydrate that, it becomes solid. Dehydrate some fruits, and you put them into a jar, and then you just add whatever your preferred liquor is, and the jar itself should make about 4 to 6 drinks. So we had,
So almost like a pre-cocktail.
yeah, and they can all be bought on our website at the moment, I believe too. So I believe our simple syrups and our infusion jars are actually on our website too, that you can have a look at
Okay.
to see exactly. Let me see if I can pull up real quick.
I'll have to bring them up and put them in here. So you already have some stuff. Is this going to be? Do you have like a particular name for the line, or is it just going to be called the Greatest Barman line? Or?
Yeah, just the Greatest Barman simple syrups, and then Greatest Barman infusion jars. Just the whole thing, like even
With a song and dance.
Oh yeah, of course, a little jig. I'll do the jig with it.
Little Irish jig.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they're up on our website. We have our brown sugar peach on there, spicy pineapple, winter mojito, holiday cookie, brown sugar cinnamon, apple crisp, maple pumpkin, honey butter, blackberry lemon. So they are the simple syrups that we have at the moment.
Wow, and you can make a drink with all those flavor profiles.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not much the hard liquor guy.
So
I can do some, but I'd sooner have a beer.
yeah, that's fair.
Give me just a beer.
That's fair. Beer gets me. The carbonation is what prevents me from drinking a lot of beer, which is why Guinness is so good for me because it's not carbonated like that.
It's got a little bubbly.
Little bubble.
But yeah, it's I've tried it. I tried to start drinking it because of the bloating that you can get and accustomed with beer. You get so full and bloated quick. But I can't keep up.
No, yeah,
I have a hard time keeping up when I'm drinking beer. So
yeah, it's definitely a different game altogether. And then you have those people who drink wine, and that's a whole different sport.
And I can't do that. I know we're starting some new content. Hopefully that stuff comes out here soon.
Cool.
We've been doing some recording for a wine podcast release.
Oh, nice.
He's actually a local wine expert and talking about some of the wines and stuff, and like a sommelier. So we got that coming out. But yeah, I'm not a wine drinker.
Yeah, no, not myself. There's 2 types of wine. There's red and there's white, and that's about it. That's as much difference as I can tell.
It's in a bottle or it's down the drain.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my wife and I, she's not a wine drinker either. So I know people will bring us a bottle of wine. It's like, oh,
yeah,
set it to the side.
Keep it for another day.
Actually, when we were talking about doing this recording, I was like, do you need anything? Because we just were going through and cleaning out our liquor cabinet,
right? And
it's like, I got stuff in here. We've been here for a while. I just dumped some of the stuff we brought back from Dominican.
Okay.
The Mama Joanna.
The what?
It's their signature drink called Mama Joanna.
Okay.
And the bottle I dumped, it was actually made, so it had like the grasses and the herbs and stuff in the bottle. You try explaining that coming back through customs.
I was about to say, what is that? How is that? That's interesting.
It was good, but it's been sitting in the cupboard now probably for 5-6 years, so it's time to go.
Yeah. Well, we did that recently ourselves. And so, like I said, we started up during COVID, basically. So if you actually go into our Instagram, the first, I don't know how many posts are just drink pictures because we couldn't do anything. We were stuck in the apartment. We were just making cocktails, taking pictures, getting some content for ourselves. And then every picture we took, if you swipe right on it, it actually gives you the ingredients and the ratios to make that cocktail. So our thought was, I actually wanted to bring this up when you asked about like the signature cocktails. Sometimes when a bride asks us what our recommendations are, we actually tell them, well, if you go onto our Instagram,
they can pick.
And not only that, but they can actually make it for themselves at home, make sure they like it, and then tell us like, hey, yeah, this is what we kind of want. So it's like
that's good promotional material there.
Mm-hmm. Well, we also do the same then on our website with our simple syrups. So there's a simple syrup section, there's an infusion jar section, and then there's a cocktail section. If you click on the cocktail section, it'll actually give you the ingredients, recipes, and ratios to make the cocktails with our simple syrups.
Wow.
So on here we have a blackberry lemon simple syrup, which obviously uses the blackberry lemon. There's a brown sugar cinnamon, iced coffee, honey butter mule, apple sangria, apple pumpkin spiked coffee, holiday cookie sangria. So yeah, holiday cookie was one of the ones you made.
What's in the honey butter?
Let's go back down here. Honey butter mule, 1 ounce of honey butter simple syrup, 1.5 ounces of vodka, 1 ounce of lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of lime juice, top it with ginger beer, and garnish with a lime.
Wow. Now, when you're using your simple syrups, do you use the shaker, or are you just mixing it and put it in the drink?
That most of the drinks will be shaken, but again, it would depend on. Some drinks don't need to be shaken; some are better stirred.
Like a martini, shaken, not stirred.
Yep, exactly. So that again, does all really kind of depends.
Yeah, and what do they call whiskey? On the rocks or naked?
I think I've heard naked before. I think, but neat is definitely the more popular one.
Neat. That's what I was thinking.
On the rocks are neat.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a beer guy. Pour me a beer.
Yeah.
I think, Davey, your story is awesome. The idea is great. You hit a niche, and I'm looking forward to the next step for you guys.
Me too. We so many directions to be going in. It's just
you get big enough, you won't be moving back to Ireland.
I will. Always will. That's always the.
Do you get back to visit once in a while, or haven't you been back to visit?
I was back every winter and summer before COVID. Obviously, COVID, I couldn't travel, and now because I'm going through, they're currently processing my visa. I have to wait for that before I do anything.
All right.
But they approved our first one. Our first application was approved, so it's going good.
That's good. So, any last comments you got? Anything you want to let us know? Let us know where they can find you again. Your social media, which I did not have, and I apologize. I'll make sure I get that in the comments. Yeah, your social media stuff.
All of our stuff is just the Greatest Barman. So it's thegreatestbarman.com. On Instagram, it's the Greatest Barman. Facebook, we're the Greatest Barman. Tag, not the Greatest Barman.
All right. So before we get out of here, this is your collab beer. You had mentioned it. This is your strawberry. Wheat basil.
Strawberry basil pale ale.
Strawberry basil pale ale.
Sounds like you've had a few. Sounds like you've had a few of them already.
Yeah. So you said you don't know a lot about what is in it other than strawberry and the basil.
Yeah. Jason is taking me under his wing a little bit, and he's willing to teach me. Just a slow process for myself.
Yeah, it's fine. You know what? Brewing's fun, but it's not, and there is a science behind it.
And it's very. Very particular. Like it's
like with this, you were mentioning about the basil.
Yeah, so this was the first time I think Jason said he'd use basil. So, like I said, he did some research himself if you wanted to go the tincture route or if you wanted to go fresh basil. And then one thing that we learned is the longer it sat in the keg, the stronger the basil continued to get. So, like I said, I'm very interested now to see how it tastes out of one of these cans that's been sitting there for a little bit.
Yeah, so and it's a learning process. So this batch, you tweak it the next time, and you'll eventually get it dialed in. It doesn't matter what you have.
I mean, you've had Jason's beers. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I know.
He knows what he's doing.
I've had a lot of his beers. Sometimes too much.
You had that new stout, the barrel aged.
The barrel aged. I do. Yep, I do have that one. We had to go in. We left that night with multiple.
You did.
Bottles.
You came in. I forgot. Yeah,
I think it was 5 or 6 bottles we left with.
5 of them. Yeah. The 22 ounces, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep. So we enjoy it. I've enjoyed having you here. The story's great. We can't wait to get you and Brittany back so you can demonstrate some of the mixologist portion of it.
Then you'll clearly see where the brains are in this operation.
Because I think you were on Fox 40. Was it Fox 43 or WJL? With Jason, and you actually did a drink on there for them.
Yeah, so we did I think Drink Week was coming up. I think it was last year, and it was Drink Week coming up. So we actually made now they've changed on the menu. It's Smash Davy's Blueberries is actually what it's called. And so we made that on TV for them, and it went down. We still have it on our menu. It goes over pretty well.
Yeah,
blueberry smash that they've renamed Smash Davy's Blueberries.
We can't wait to see that demonstrated here on the Central PA Pours.
I can't wait to come back and make 2 or 3 drinks with her.
Yeah, there we go. That'll be good. We're looking forward to that. So
and hopefully Dave's feeling a bit better himself then as well.
Yeah, and that Kevin will be here to enjoy it as well. So, Davey, I appreciate you sitting down here with me.
I appreciate you having me.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to a true Irishman.
Yeah.
So, if you're out there, let's raise a glass with Davey and Brittany, who is not here, the Greatest Barman LLC and the CPP, and let's all be bonded by beer. Cheers,
sir.